Welcome to the synopsis of Godzilla. This movie came out in 2014. It's the one with Bryan Cranston. Anything else about this movie, Joe?
Not yet.
Not yet? Awesome. Let's see here. We'll get the timer started. We have 5 minutes to summarize this movie in full. So if you're worried about spoilers, now's the time to skip ahead or just go watch the movie and then come back to us.
Yeah, do that.
Because we're gonna be spoiling it, guys.
Unless you love spoilers. Some people do.
Yeah, this has got Aaron Taylor Johnson and Bryan Cranston, and it's directed by Gareth Edwards. No idea who that is.
Nope.
And written by Dave Callahan, not Han, Callahan, and Max Morenstein. So we'll put 5 minutes on the clock, and then we'll get started. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So, it's Bryan Cranston's birthday, and he is going to go, he's focused on his science things, and there's like some earthquakes, and they're in Japan. And so then they go into work, and his kid like made him a cool little banner, but he's like too focused on work to really even know that it's his birthday or pay attention. But anyway, he and his wife go to the nuclear facility that they both work at to like get a just going into work. And there's some like physical activity that's going on, geological stuff, and so they're like
seismic activity.
There we go, seismic activity. And so he's like, hey, you got to go check on the reactor. And she's like, all right, I'll go check on it because it's my job. And he's, talking to them about it. And then something big hits, and they're really, like, things start to go really bad. And he goes, Bryan Cranston goes down to the, basically to the airlock to wait for his wife so that way he can close the doors manually as late as possible as she tries to run away from the reactor breach. And it's real scary. And then he ends up having to slam it because the radiation's starting to pour out. And he sees his wife just on the other side of the glass, dying, just dying in the radiation. Then what happens, Joe?
Well, we missed another part where Ken Watanabe is another scientist. He's a geologist, and he goes to the Philippines. I think this is at the very beginning. He's in the Philippines, and he is exploring this massive cave system that has a huge, and I mean like ginormous skeleton inside of it. And so, flash forward, the Bryan Cranston scene where his wife dies takes place in 1999. Flash forward to 2014. The boy is grown up. He is a lieutenant in the Navy at this point, and he is returning home to his family on leave in Los Angeles. He gets a call from his dad that he really needs to come over to Japan to see what his dad's been working on. At this point, his son is totally fed up with his dad's antics and doesn't believe anything he says. He just seems like a crazy, raving lunatic, but he does want to go over and at least see his dad and try and convince him to come back to the U.S. To see his son once again. So he flies over, sees his dad. His dad is raving, but he convinces his son to go into the quarantine zone where the nuclear plant had blown up.
Yeah, so once they get there, they get arrested. He's trying to get data, basically. They get arrested, and they get taken to the nuclear facility that's actually housing some weird, crazy egg thing, and then the egg erupts, and it's a Muto, and Bryan Cranston dies. And
what?
Yep. Yeah, he dies as the Muto escapes. This is basically a giant monster. And he gets killed, and then Aaron Taylor Johnson is named Ford. He goes to Hawaii to get like moved over to what's it called? San Francisco. But then Godzilla shows up and tries to fight the Muto in Hawaii, and then they end up like trying to get to San Francisco, and it's crazy after that. Basically, what happens is they're trying to lure the Muto and Godzilla 30 miles off the coast to blow them both up. These two giant kaiju creatures are just like super huge, and they feed on radiation. That's why it attacked the nuclear plant. So they feed on radiation, so they're attracted to nuclear bombs and nuclear materials. And so they're like, hey, let's just put a big bomb out in the ocean. And then like immediately the Muto, because this one can fly. There's one that can fly and one that like pops out of a mountain in Las Vegas, and it's like they're coming to mate and then like bury their eggs. So anyway, the flying one comes and takes the nuclear bomb, and they bring it in the middle of the city. And so Ford has to drop in through Halo drop, and then find the bomb with his unit, and then carry it out of the city. Meanwhile, Godzilla's coming to fight the Mutos. We got 40 seconds left, Joe.
Oh boy! All right, so Aaron Taylor Johnson is the lieutenant. He and his team go in and they find the eggs. He blows them all up, and then they carry the bomb to a boat. Meanwhile, Godzilla is fighting the kaijus downtown. They're getting in a huge, crazy battle. Aaron Taylor gets the boat driving off into the distance, and then Godzilla finishes off the two kaijus, and the bomb does blow up out in the bay, but Aaron Taylor makes it out alive.
He gets rescued at the last second by a helicopter.
And Godzilla slithers back into the ocean, our new superhero.
We did it. It was amazing. We did like the first 2.5 minutes of that was just us talking about the first like 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
But for sure, that's like the most plot heavy part.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, it's almost all set up, and then it's just like monster fight, monster fight, monster fight.
Oh, dude, that monster fight was so epic. Well, all of them were, but the one in LA is
man,
so crazy.
I'm pretty sure it's San Francisco though.
Oh, you're totally right.
Yeah, so if y'all watch that on YouTube, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, what's it called? Patreon. We got all kinds of stuff. We're the Blockbuster Buffs. So like, subscribe, I don't know, do whatever.